wondering if I was going to make it out of there.
I asked Sam Provance about Major General George Fay, the lead investigator of a second investigation of Abu Ghraib following the Taguba report.
There's a lot of questions about General Fay. When I interviewed him, and other people were interviewed by him, we were wondering how in the world this guy made general, because he didn't know like some of the simplest Army acronyms that's common to everyone down to a private. It's obvious to me he was just plucked from whatever civilian job he was doing and was told, okay, this is what you're really going to be and this is what you're not going to be, but it's going to look like you are. Just basically a stooge.
Is it still true that you have not been called to testify at any of the trials, which I guess are all over, aren't they?
I should have been, and I know for a fact at Lindy England's court-martial, her defense team for 3 days straight requested that I testify, either in person or over the phone. What the Army said was they couldn't find me. I'm in Heidelberg, Germany, waiting patiently. After 3 days, the defense gave up.
Sometime after your honorable discharge, which happened in 2006, you were given the Sam Adams Professionals Integrity in Intelligence Award. This is a group of retired CIA officers. What was that like?
Well, these are retired CIA officers that are, as far as I know, kind of broken ranks with their past in the CIA, or at least they don't support the current policy or whatnot of the current CIA. They're involved in different activist endeavors. It was pretty different. I was asked to come down to the American University and give a speech and receive this award, and I was glad. It's not like I wanted the recognition, because I tried to tell them, I really don't see myself as a whistleblower or something special to be even given this award. I just was honest and tried to get something done, for good.
What are you doing now? You're working as a security guard still?
For a time, I was a security guard, and I worked actually as a prison guard at a county jail, but I had to leave because, for one, the cat eventually got out of the bag that I was at Abu Ghraib, and two, there was enough things going on at that prison for me to get out of there before I became a part of another scandal.
Well, what was the reaction, or what would the fallout have been if you had stayed, the fact that you were at Abu Ghraib?
I don't know. I'm afraid to know. A lot of people don't realize how limited of an access even the government officials that kind of oversee these jails have. Almost anything can happen behind those bars, and it does. And, who knows if out of fear to protect themselves what might have happened to me, because I had already began reporting things to my superiors about what was going on at that jail. Most soldiers that I used to speak to before I got out, they have the same attitude they had at Abu Ghraib. They don't have a problem with torturing people as long as it gets the information. But in the civilian world, it's been entirely different. Most people I meet are against it. There's always, but it's funny because people always hold out this kind of ticking bomb theory. They always go back to that. Well, but if we need the information, within the hour, then we got to do whatever it takes. Even though that's probably never going to happen. But as far as me and what I've done, most soldiers hated me because I committed the cardinal sin of speaking to the media, which soldiers are almost brainwashed into believing that that's something they're never ever to do. But civilians are happy I spoke to the media.
Has that changed over the last few years as the public has gotten more and more sick of the war?
Well, for the most part, people just don't care anymore. Even my own family, Like there was a book written by Tara McKelvey called Monstering, and to this day she's the only one that's really used the majority of the things I've had to offer the media, and even my own family wouldn't know about it unless I told them about it and gave them a copy myself. I mean, most people, Iraq, and it's become so much a part of our daily lives now that unless it's something absolutely breaking news, then it really doesn't interest them.
Getting back to what you said about soldiers being against you for breaking the code, is there anything that you could have blown the whistle about, the most egregious abuses, without them still saying, no, you shouldn't have broke the code?
It doesn't matter what I could have said about anything. Other soldiers that I worked with at that unit wouldn't have cared. I mean, most soldiers, it's part of being a soldier and, the enemy being demonized. But nobody cares about those people, the Iraqi people. Soldiers don't care about what happens to them. Most of them don't. It's as if they're, a movie prop. They're not real. So it doesn't matter what I could have said. Boiling people in vats of oil, and soldiers would still be upset with me because I told the media about it.
Soapbox is broadcast every Thursday at noon and is webcast at wwuh.org. We welcome questions and comments at robtyrka@hotmail.com.
You've been listening to